I'm Babla Jonathan. You welcome to this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinox Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. In our top stories, we talk about underdevelopment hitting several parts of the Republic of Cameroon, especially the hinterlands. In this newscast, we will show you the underdeveloped and enclaved nature of Bakassi Peninsula and Badianzu, a village in the southwest region of the country and west region respectively. And we shall equally be talking about fire that has continued raging in the city of Douala. Fire has continued raging in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, after wild flames consumed several shops at the Marché de la Gare, the New Bell Market, not far from the Douala Central Market. An apartment has been reduced into ashes, rendering several persons homeless in the heart of Akwa. Inosenazi reports.
Wild flames ravaging to ashes a makeshift apartment Tuesday morning at Nouvelle Route Bessengue, not far from Immeuble Petit Pays in Akwa Douala. It is 10 a.m. A helpless grandmother trapped in the inferno sustained severe burns and was rushed to the hospital. She was rescued by her granddaughter from the merciless flames. A car parked in a garage was almost engulfed, but it was thanks to firefighters who arrived and quenched the flames. Properties rendered to smoke and ashes. Occupants in shock told Equinox Television the fire generated as a result of constant power cuts and reinstatement since the early hours of the day. The grandmother in the hospital in critical condition. They had a home, but today they are homeless.
The governor of the southwest region of Cameroon, Benau Kaliabilai, has instructed the pioneer director of the Bakassi Peninsula Development Program to effectively reside in the area in order to effectively follow up development projects that are to be executed in that part of the country. And this injunction is coming after he observed that many development projects that were located to the Bakassi Peninsula were either poorly executed or not executed at all. The pioneer director of that program was commissioned into his functions recently, as Derek Jato reports.
After establishing sovereignty over the Bakassi Peninsula since 2008, it has been realized, even by the Cameroon government, that her effort to bring especially infrastructural development in Bakassi is yet to have an impact on the ground, as most projects are poorly executed. Behind me is the Lund Government Secondary School of Edabatu subdivision, almost colonized by the Atlantic Ocean.
It is our responsibility to understand and be able to periscope what is going to happen in the next near future when the school is to be situated in this place. Therefore, I think being expert in that field is our responsibility to decide that, oh, this place will not be convenient. Well, maybe within some sequence of years that this place will be eroded by water. Therefore, they're supposed not to have situated this school. But I mean, started this school in this place, in the fourth instance.
It has been noted that over the years, most Bakassi projects are only executed on papers with nothing on the ground, as contractors take advantage of little or no follow-up and frustrate government massive investment in the area. Though Bakassi can boast of some infrastructural development that have been realized here, like the fishing village in Isangele, health centers, modern council chambers, schools, telecommunication relay centers, among others. But many say Bakassi is yet to have the desired transformation phase. Reason why a prime ministerial order came out last August 21, 2017, creating Bakassi Peninsula Development Program, which covers Isangele, Edabatu, Kumbo Abedimo, Kumbo Etindi, and Bamuso subdivisions. It is on that note that the Southwest Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai has descended to Bakassi Peninsula to officially install Mr. Mutumba Tamanjang Obase as the pioneer Director General of this Bakassi Peninsula Development Program, during which Governor Bernard Okalia Bilai reminded the new Director General that the government expects him to demonstrate a high spirit of initiative, objectivity, critical analysis, and the capacity to establish and propose priority actions to the government. And this can only be effective if he is present on the field, for he is serving as mission to transform the 5,000 square kilometers peninsula in a manner that will positively change the lives of the over 115,000 inhabitants that are still in need of basic amenities.
A Southwest correspondent Derek Jato painting the underdeveloped phase of Bakassi Peninsula in the southwest region of Cameroon. Another locality in underdevelopment is Badjongzu in Bazu subdivision in the Ndé division, west region of the Republic of Cameroon. Practically all basic social amenities are lacking in that community, and inhabitants are suffering and sending a distress call to the Yaoundé administration. We have details in this report.
Badjongzu, a village of 1,000 troubles, so to speak. It is situated in Bazu subdivision in the Ndé division, west region of Cameroon. A greater proportion of its inhabitants is made up of farmers who produce diverse farm products, much of which gets bad in the farms or between the farms and the market because of the deplorable state of farm-to-market roads. We produce a lot of potatoes, bananas, cassava, tomatoes, yams and pepper, but the roads are in a bad state. To transport a bag of potatoes on a motorbike from Badjongzu to Bazu central town costs 1,500 francs CFA. From Badjongzu to Bazu is 7 kilometers. Sometimes we pay 1,000 or 700 francs CFA because the road is rehabilitated by villagers and not the council. Perishable products are cheap here. If you don't sell at giveaway prices, what will you do with them? They will perish. There are no roads, even vehicles, to transport the products to Bazu. Another major challenge of inhabitants of Badjongzu is the absence of adequate health amenities in the village. Concerning health, the people are suffering. If you are bitten by a snake or afflicted by fever, you can die on the way from Badjongzu to Bazu. There is a hospital here, but no nurses. If somebody is ill here, we need motorbikes to transport him or her to Bazu, and the sick person can die on the way. No portable water supply is yet another problem, putting the lives of villagers on the deadline at the mercy of waterborne diseases. Before I was born, we were fetching water from here because there is no potable water. It is not good because it is not protected, but we are obliged to drink because we don't have a choice. There was a borehole at the chief's palace, but it is not functioning. Concerning education, the Lone Primary School in Badjongzu lacks what it takes to properly educate the children of the village. There is a primary school here, but very few teachers. The teachers are very few, just 3 of them for the whole school, 1 for 2 classes. The chief of Badionzu, Kiju Jangles, and his subjects are sending a distress call to the administration. Government, elite, and goodwill men and women should help take my people out of the nightmare. We are urging government to help us because our village has been abandoned. Government should take care of the population of Badionzu. Badionzu speaks volumes of the situation of several parts of President Paul Biya's country.
The Cameroon Employers Association, GICAM, is stepping up efforts to boost the productive and competitive strength of small and medium-sized enterprises in the country. The association has launched the first ever Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises Development Center. The launching ceremony today was presided at by the president of GICAM, Celestin Kawamba, alongside the Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy, and of course Handicraft, Laurent Serge Etundingwa, who was the government authority who presided at that meeting. Details in this report.
The growth of small and medium-sized enterprises in Cameroon is hampered by several setbacks. One of the major stumbling blocks concerns difficulties of access to financing.
The small and medium-sized enterprise are facing problems all over the world, and every country has its specificities in these problems. If you don't have good prepared projects, if you don't have, we call it bankable projects, it will be difficult for you to raise capital, to raise loan. So you do have these two key problems of having good projects and being able to raise equity. This is, investor fund, and also have loan. You have to deal with both challenges, to have a strong company.
To assist government in efforts to find solutions to the challenges faced by small and medium-sized enterprises, the Cameroon Employers Association, GICAM, has launched the first ever SMEs Development Center. It is aimed at boosting the productive and competitive strength of SMEs.
We are very proud to see that a private organization, what we call usually the patronat, is now tackling the issue of those problems by helping the state to solve problems of competitiveness of enterprise. And we came to launch the very first development center of SMEs in Cameroon. This is, a progress in terms of economic model of organization for private sector, because they are trying to solve problems themselves. Equity funding, this is a particular services which we need to see how they will happen, and after that to help a company to build their business plan and also to structure bankable projects.
The center is open to members of GICAM and none or will be members. The Minister of Small and Medium-Sized Enterprises, Social Economy and Handicraft, Laurent Serge Etundingwa, has announced the creation of a similar center by government before the end of this year.
The Southwest Regional Chieftain Boya was practically paralyzed over the weekend, not by Operation Ghost Town, neither by the Anglophone crisis, but rather by burial ceremonies of the late chief of Opa Munya village, Chief Mulenge Ikome. David, the ceremony took place in strict respect of the people's traditions. Derek Jato reports.
All business premises are closed, and Boya is on a standstill as the Opa Munya people in particular and the Boya people in general lay to rest. A man they call the architect of the present modern Opa Munya village, Chief Dr. Mulenge David Ekome disappeared last February 19, 2018. Though he finally bowed to an illness that he battled with for some time now. But the cosmopolitan Upper Munya people came out as one man and stood on a foundation of unity that Chief Mulenge built and promised to keep his legacy. To the man on the street, Chief Dr. Mulenge David Ekome was a strong leader who was always ready to defend especially the weak. The Southwest chiefs call him their role model.
I want to say Chief Mulenge was an expert personality who was a traditional ruler. A man who knew the price of royalty. A man who struggled to get royalty to the highest level, which today, so many of us copied from him. He was our role model.
To his workers, their boss was an inspiration.
He came out very well. With the man, whenever you have any problem, when you want to help, you cannot look behind.
He was somebody who was so developmental minded. He liked to talk about development, and he practicalized it.
The royal family say Chief Dr. Mulenge David Ekome was a father who was always there.
I can remember that he was very generous because growing up I always saw people came up to the house at random hours, even in the night, from widows to the handicapped, and always there was no protocol.
Though he is gone, but his political seat nearest in the region is today multiplying.
It was this same Chief Mulenge who represented the CPDM in 1997 at the divisional level.
Chief Dr. Mulenge David Ekome was one of the few traditional rulers that never stopped warning administrators to stop grabbing their land. Born on the 1st of February 1949, Chief Dr. Mulenge David Ekome has been on the royal stool of his forefathers for decades.
Custodians of the people's cultures and traditions disappear, as it is said, west of the Mongol, referring to the death of traditional rulers, but culture never dies. And that is why the report coming up next, we're going to show you the rich cultural heritage of the people of Limbe through the People's Cultural Festival that just rounded up. It was an event that took place in the midst of tight security as a result of the prevailing unstable socio-political and security situation in the two Anglophone regions of the country because of the Anglophone crisis that escalated more than a year ago. Davidson Maimo reports from Limbe.
The Limbe Festival of Art and Culture, Limbe Festac, with objective to preserve, to promote and pass on the culture to the future generation, was indeed a success this year. However, to some, this year's Festac was one with mixed feelings, given the increased tension of the Anglophone crisis, where villages are being burned, with the displacement of villagers fleeing homes as refugees.
Back here we are feeling fine, a bit, but not too fine because our families too are there. So we are praying for the government to open up dialogue so that we can have peace.
We are celebrating with our sisters here, but most of us are not happy. But some of us are bereaved. Some of our families are bereaved. There's problem with us. We have problem like this. It doesn't mean we are happy here or we cannot kill ourselves. This year they were there, but the happiness was not really there.
Representing the Minister of Art and Culture at the closing ceremony, the Senior Divisional Officer for Fako Ngamba Emmanuel Edo categorically said if Limbe and Fako in general must achieve that which the state has earmarked, peace should not be an option.
This state can only be won if peace and security are guaranteed. This is the call I make to the population of Fako Division in general and Limbe in particular.
On his part, the government delegate to Limbe City Council, Mutanga Andrew Monjimba, once again thanked the people of Limbe for a hitch-free celebration.
You have demonstrated your maturity and unflinching attachment to peace. You have shown that Limbe is Limbe.
The 2018 Limbe Festival of Art and Culture was one filled with innovations in prize award, such as the female canoe race, best exhibitors of craft, not leaving out fashion and designing.
Now we're going to talk about the organizers of the martial arts festival that took place here in the country recently, and the organizers, or the main organizer of that event, has responded to the frustrations, disappointment and anger of many Cameroonians who were deceived, they say, as they were expecting the arrival of the international martial arts star Jackie Chan, as was announced, but which never happened. And the main organizer of that event, Metro Santana, organized a press conference to explain the reasons for why Jackie Chan was never present. EQUINOXE has more.
Hello, all my friends in Africa, and although I cannot join you today, I would like to wish you the great success of this event.
City dwellers in Douala still hold that they have been scammed by organizers of the African Martial Arts Festival, FADAM, which held recently in the littoral region. They expected to meet Jackie Chan physically during the event as special guest, but that never came true, even till the end of the FADAM.
She couldn't come, that's why she made this record video to show to the people like, I was informed, I'm interested, I'm the special guest of this event, but for professional reason I cannot be here. So all these people, they was informed and they support the FADAM.
A big blow to organizers of FADAM, who have begun taking measures to avoid such a failure in the event's second edition in another African country.
For what was happened, of course now, I'm going to say for Jackie Chan like how he's so loved in Africa, and also I will try all my best for the next edition to be better than this edition.
In spite of the fact that most Cameroonians who attended the first edition of FADA in Douala went home disgruntled, the progenitor, Master Satenang, says he is nevertheless impressed with how the first edition unfolded and ended.
I did it, and for the first edition we get like 38 delegation from around the world. I think that for the first edition we are so happy and we are so proud. We did in the three cities, Yaoundé, Douala and Limbe. So I think that there was like for me successful. As also all authorities say that, and they congratulate me every day to say good luck and congratulations for what you did.
Charity, they say, begins at home. Reason why Master Satenang launched the first edition in his fatherland, Cameroon.
Now we wrap up the first segment of this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast with this advertorial from Orange. Cameroon, the mobile telephone company, is stepping up efforts to promote young fashion designers, craftsmen and women, as well as artists, to the Fredash International Fashion Avenue. The events will be coming up in the month of May. We have details in this report.
Orange Cameroon at the service of fashion designers, models, craftsmen and women, and artists in Cameroon and the rest of the African continent. The mobile telephone company is stepping up efforts to promote youngsters in the aforementioned domains through the Fredash International Annual Fashion Avenue. The
aim of the event, first of all, is to promote our young designers and fashion designers and cultural professionals in the domain of fashion and designing. Because if you look around, we are fast losing our culture. And what do we do to preserve our culture? Is to do events like this that will uphold and promote our lifestyle and fashion. That means we are looking at what we wear, what we consume, because people always go back to Western world to put on maybe jeans, even to formal events. So we are here to promote our culture, our lifestyle, and the way we dress.
This year's edition, that will run from the 4th to the 5th of May 2018 in Yaoundé, will be marked by practical innovations. Participants will demonstrate and showcase their know-how and skills.
This year's event will do a competition that won't only be on stage, but we'll do a practical competition. That means we'll get the young designers to create to draw something, an outfit, create and sew in the presence of the judges. And of course, we also do an evening where the youngsters will get to mingle with other companies and other professional designers.
Fiafia was adopted in June 2011, and since then it is an emerging international annual fashion and cultural event with models, fashion designers from Cameroon and other parts of Africa.
We've been existing since 2012. This will be the 7th edition of Fiafia. Yeah.
So what have you done concretely?
Yeah, concretely, every year we manage to give out sewing machines to young designers, the people who win the competition for young fashion designers. And also we give gigs to the models. We link our models to companies like Orange Cameroon and other companies that seek to promote youngsters in Cameroon.
It brings together at least 1,500 persons, including economic stakeholders, top administrative authorities, university students, media practitioners, and stakeholders of culture, tourism, magazines, and entertainment industries.
Cameroon's Minister of Finance, Louis-Paul Mutazi, goes to war against fake civil servants. He has announced a census of civil servants in a bid to fish out those who are illegally appearing on the state payroll. That will be a topic in this edition of Talking Point. Stay with us. Thanks for joining me in Talking Point. I'm receiving Celestin Jamen of the Social Democratic Front. You're welcome.
Thank you, Badber Jonathan, and thank you for inviting me once more again for this newscast program. Thank you very much.
Earlier, I indicated that the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Cameroon, Louis-Paul Mutazi, is waging a war against fake civil servants. This is an old problem.
Yes, I want to say that, first of all, Mr. Louis-Paul Mutazi was the Minister of the Economy and Planification. And at that time, he had never seen nothing, no fake civil servants. And he was a Secretary General of Prime Minister Services. And at that time, he saw nothing, no fake civil servant. But now, in the electoral years, suddenly he is illuminated. He saw the light coming from the heaven and saw the fake civil servant. This is a very deeply problem in Cameroon. Do you know that between 1987 to 2007, the administration detected that there was almost the payroll is going to 28 billion to 36 billion per month for the fictitious and fake salaries. That means that every year during 20 years, beginning from 1987 to 2007, every year we have 96 billion of misappropriated money of diversion. That means that on over 20 years is 1,920 billion.
And this problem has been existing for quite a long period of time.
Yes.
And the list of fake civil servants has been published on several occasions. But the civil servants or the fake civil servants continue existing.
Yes.
What explains this?
You know that it's not the first time, because when I wrote the press release of Mr. Mutazi, he said that beginning from April to June, it will proceed to the launching of the physical counting of the civil servant, or the fake civil servant. It's not the first time, because in 2009, there was also a launching of this operation. And the year after, that means in 2010, there was something. The result was empty, peanuts, no way. So today, I think that when you saw in the background, we had CGPS 1, CGPS 2, and CGPS 3. Every time they talk about a fake CV7, but no greatest measure have not been taken to resolve the problem.
The fact that fake civil servants continue existing on the state payroll over the years, is it an indication of laxity, administrative laxity? Is it an indication of complicity within the administrative circle?
It may be certainly a complicity. You know, the fundamental problem in Cameroon is the problem of governance. For years, we face the bad governance in Cameroon. It's the reason why. And you know that some civil servants have 8, 9 times 10 salaries. Where are they coming from?
And some of them are abroad.
Some of them are abroad, and some of them are dead. We have to cancel and to remove every civil servant who is dead, evidently, obviously, whose is resigned and whose have a unjustified absence. That is very simple. For years we know that. So there is a very long complicity in the government. They know that because we are in electoral years, and Mr. Mutazi launched the presidential campaign of Mr. Biya. They want to recover money to go on for the CPDM campaign. Is the only reason I say.
Now, the Minister of Finance has taken the initiative to make a census of all these civil servants in order to fish out the fake elements. Do you see anything coming out of this?
No, you know that you are a taxpayer. I am a taxpayer. We are all a Cameroonian taxpayer. So we need the truth. We have the right to ask the truth to the government. So it's our money. Now we want, once more again, to call every Cameroonian of goodwill to interpel and to call for this government to tell us the truth. Where is the money going every year? 8 billion per month. That means 96 billion per years. 1,920 billion during over 20 years. That is a great problem. When are you sure that would we have gone to the International Monetary Fund if we have all this money? I think no. We have money, but this money is misappropriated, and the government know where the money is going. Since, so we ask for the truth. We cannot accept that Mr. Mutazi use the occasion of the electoral year to collect the money for the CPDM campaign. We will not accept that. Because you can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool all people all the time.
But now he is going to war against this very problem that has been existing over the years. What's your take on this other attempt to cleanse the state payroll?
I think that is the fake war. It's not the war. It's a fake war.
Why a fake war?
Because you know that when you are a civil servant, you have a role. Every civil servant has to sign manually, physically, the payment of his salary. Every time. We have to take an energetic measure. It's very simple. When you want to receive your pay, you have to sign, to unload, to make evident that you have received your pay. It's very simple. How can you understand that somebody stay in France or to England or to United States and continue to receive his salary?
And even the debt.
And even the debt.
So
that is not acceptable.
Are you saying that some people are feeding fat on this, and so maintaining it?
Of course, because they have all the files of state employees. They have all the files of state employees, so that they know the truth. Though we need as taxpayers to know the truth, because I suspect the government, in particular Mr. Lupan Mutaze, to want to collect the money for the CPDM campaign. For me, is the only and rational reason, because the aim of this campaign is, according to the minister, to rationalize.
He wants to save the country from losing the tens of millions of francs CFA that you were.
CPDM could not never save the Cameroon. All we know that. And now we are facing this problem during 35 years.
To go, what should be done according to you? Now,
well,
what should be done?
I think that we are in the electoral years. The Cameroon will take...
Concerning this particular problem of fake civil
yes,
service, what should
I cannot count on the government to give the solution. I call to the Cameroonian to take a radical solution. That means to step down, to break down this regime by voting abundantly for the candidate of my party.
So you believe the Biya regime cannot solve this problem?
He cannot.
Another regime, probably that of the SDF.
No, you have to judge. You have to judge Mason on the base of the wall.
All right, Celestin Jamin, you are a politician, municipal councillor with the main opposition political party in the Republic of Cameroon, the Social Democratic Front. Thanks for accepting to be a guest in this.
Thank you very much, Babila Jonathan.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. That's it for today. Thanks.